so we made it to Circuit Motorsports. Thankfully, it's right here. We're a little early, so we're just gonna wait it out till they're open, and hopefully everything goes well. The car did pretty well. It's just leaking a little bit of oil. It still had enough oil to make it here, so let's wait and see what they find out. So I'll be back with you guys in a minute.
Yeah, just great.
Alright, cool. Alright guys, so we're back with another one. We're gonna start looking for the oil leak, and going from there we're gonna try to find it, resolve it before doing anything else, and hopefully we can get this fixed and get the car on the road again. We'll keep you posted. Let's get started with this. Alright, so we found the possible leak, and I think it's coming from the PCV valve. Everything just looks really loose there. So we take out the intercooler. It's right here. This all looks pretty sus. So as you can see, it moves completely left and right. I think I can pop it out. So we have clamps, some zip ties, and more oil down there. So this is where primarily the oil is coming from, as you can see. And all of this is wet. So I'm assuming the leak is from somewhere here. And there's 2 zip ties down there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 zip ties. And yeah, I think this is where the leak is coming from. There's way more oil. I'm gonna take this whole thing out and just kind of redo it. If I need to get a new PCV valve, then I will. But I don't know, man. I think this is the PCV valve, but then this is the PCV valve. Alright, update. I just pulled it out just by pulling it out with like no strength at all. Just pulled it out and just came out. So I'm assuming that's where the majority of the oil leak is at. That's not tied in, so I'm gonna put a clamp on that. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, another day, and then this is another day to work on the project. So what we have done so far, I ended up ordering a pack of clamps. Just might as well, why not? My brother told me not to use these clamps, just to use the other ones that you can use the pliers with. My dilemma is that I don't have those pliers, so I had to order both. But in the meantime, I'm gonna do this. So secure this with a clamp, secure that with a clamp, and I'm just reviewing everything else. So this whole thing was loose, all the way straight down was loose. So I'll secure this. Let's see what else. We have a screw stuck down there somewhere. I'm trying to get that. That was not me. It was just there. So I'm trying to get that. It's in a really tight area. A part of me wants to just leave it like this and get a pitch stop mount since I'm here and get this connected, but might be wasting a lot of money already. So I'm just gonna leave that alone. And I think I'm gonna just review everything else on this side, because the driver's side seems to be fine. Nothing on this side is leaking. I verified that both valve covers are not leaking. Both head gaskets are not leaking. This side is just primarily what the leak is at, and it definitely looked like it was coming from this, because all of it was loose and most of the oil was here. There's that. I'm gonna just double check this area over here, make sure there's no leaks coming from here. Another part of me wants to open up the cam covers just to see if there's no leaks in the cam seals, if I can't even see that, not sure, and we'll continue on from there. Alright guys, so we have the car back, and we're still slowly working on it to solve leaks. The list of items from Circuit Motorsports after they checked it out and inspected, because they had to get inspected before it got tuned. I also had them assess everything, paid a little extra just to have them check everything that I didn't know about. Plus there's only so much I can do with a jack. They have the lifts, so they can check it thoroughly, and they know these motors in and out. I only know so much. This is the list that they gave us. They said that the top side of the engine was covered in oil, which is true. It was on the AOS side, basically the passenger side of the motor, covered in oil because the lines were leaking and there's no clamps and zip ties. I've just resolved that last night. They said AOS lines are leaking, no clamps, which is what I just stated. Oil fill tube seal leaking. Oil fill tube. I gotta check that out. Next, this dipstick tube is pushed out of the oil pan, which is what I did because I had to replace them, but I couldn't put it back in. And now I'm thinking I see why I can't put it back in. Because one of the clamps are facing exactly into the direction of the oil tube, which is pushing it. So I don't know how to even get there, or how to even move it. I would have to unscrew it. Hopefully no antifreeze pops out, and they kind of move it to a different direction, so that way I have more play with the oil tube. Next, no AC belt, which I knew. The owner told me that. I got the AC belt. What else? Wastegate line is not attached. Gotta check that. Oil leaking from behind the timing cover. I'm gonna check that too. Trans seals leaking. Turbo oil drain leaking. Not installed correctly. Turbo bracket is missing bolts. I didn't realize that. Up pipe heat shield broken. Okay. Cap back is broken. Half at flange. Yeah, we already saw that. RF wheel bearing. So right front. Wheel bearing very loose. Cool. Oil pan leaking, which is from the oil tube. Coolant lines on water pump swollen and compromised. Okay, so I'm thinking about even switching that. Front lower control arms bushing torn, which I might replace with STI control arms anyways. Vehicles rusty underneath, clearly. So that's pretty much the list. Yeah, just checking anything else, but yeah, that's pretty much all the notes. Not much, just a lot of draining, a lot of oil leaks, which we're gonna start looking towards. After the oil leaks, we got the wheel bearing as a concern. We also have the coolant lines wet by the water pump, which is by the oil tube. So that's definitely something we're gonna look into. Probably just swap it out, do the radiator at once, because I might have to drain the coolant. If it doesn't, then we could just change the hoses. Let me send this list to Fred and see what he thinks, and send it to my Subi boys. Be right back. So we are currently under the car trying to remove this hose because these two are swollen, and look at how that looks. This is how it's supposed to look. So yeah, that's no bueno, so I'm letting it drip before I take it out, so it doesn't all come out at once, but I think I'm still gonna get splashed with coolant. This hose was also already like broken, so let's remove that. It's also compromising, one of the clamps is compromising the tube, which is pushing it at a certain angle, so definitely that's why I'm also doing all of this at once. Hey guys, so this is another day, probably like day 3, I think 4, I'm not sure. Well, we can't get the dipstick tube back in. I don't know if the dipstick tube is like bent, maybe, I'm not sure, but I read some forums. Most people can put it in without a problem with lubing it with oil. I have multiple times. I have now ruined 4 O-rings except for the top O-ring, but the bottom O-rings is always getting ruined. After the 3rd O-ring, I found out that there was a whole bunch of sealant around the tube. Well, when you insert it in the oil pan, scraped all of it off, and then try to insert it again, but it just seems like the angle is so bad that it's going in an angle where it kind of pinches the O-ring. It doesn't go in it doesn't go in smoothly. So I have the space to finesse it in. It just looks like it's in an awkward position, so I'm trying to figure out what I can do to have it fit perfectly flush. It was in there, so there must be some way. I'm actually about to give up and go to the Subaru dealership and have them do it. I'm like this close. So I think I'm gonna end it here.